Tubes Upside DIY. Sorry, if my videos aren't really scripted. I haven't been taking notes on the videos that much, but right here I have some pepper seeds with just water and filter floss. They started to sprout, and I actually have been using using my hands for most of it, but I'm gonna try and use popsicle sticks to try to but you know, there are just some that I just start to find while I have this camera flash, and right here I just dropped it, but I'm gonna have to plant. So I have these Tupperwares to keep the water from not overflowing or something like that, from falling and making a mess. So I'm keeping it pretty much clean, and you know, not trying to squeeze or pinch too much, just trying to just give it enough situation. So what I want to do is actually put 5 in these, since I have so many seeds and they're going to keep growing for a couple of days, you know. And you know, when I put a lot into something, it's going to help use whatever resources of water. But for now I have this laid out right here. Like, this one is a little too small. I'm going to try to give it some time to grow a little more and things like that. And then, you know, this is really working out just because I'm getting them at a good time and not breaking the roots. So it's giving me better so there's 1, 2, there's 3. It's giving me better yield. But you know, there's some that the roots just started, so I'm gonna give it so I'm not gonna mess with it until, you know, until it's safer for it. But there's just basically enough water and saturation to sprout. Which is pretty good. They may not need a lot of water regardless, just to soften up the shell, and then the root starts to come out. And then I just get to move some, and then find the ones that have the root growing. Hopefully not ruin my potting soil by breaking something, but just gently placing the pepper seed, because when the water comes, it's going to really finish planting and putting them into the soil. So definitely you know, worth just managing whatever space you have, and then just picking it up later on when I work on more of the supplies in a week or two. I'll have other bottles and better things like these things growing, so I could pay more attention. There's definitely a lot of changes out there. I hope everything's, you know, making sense, I guess. And hopefully, you know, next time or tomorrow, probably tomorrow around the same time, I'm going to try to find other ones that are trying to grow, or maybe even clean up what I can. Because I left some of them that were stuck on their stem, and turn those things around and things like that, or spread out what I can, and just make, or just help them really get nicely you know, started. So that's most of what is there. It's totally a lot of plants and things. I could really water it actually completely, and then you know, just to get it really started, and then go back and make some more holes and things, just because I especially on specific spots, I'm gonna just try to water them just to make sure they're gonna get started. And when I see them start growing in a month or two, I'm gonna have some freaking crazy good peppers, I guess. But yeah, like I mentioned, I've tried this before and it hasn't worked too much until now. So I finally found out how to sprout some pepper seeds. If anybody's watching this video and it's just like, what's this video called? So so I have 2 trays of dirt, which is pretty much enough to get these started, but eventually I'm going to put them in a larger and deeper container, like a plastic bottle and things like that, which should help. But the main thing is that it has to be indoor, because what happens out, there's differences in dangers of worms and even slugs or flies that can ruin, you know, they could lay you know, worms, I don't know exactly, to ruin things. But you just keep an eye, and you know, be glad that, you know, not everything's destroyed, and there's gonna always be another time to duplicate what works and things. And this aquarium right here is ready for a betta fish. I want to try to get a betta fish. You know, it's just a 10-gallon filter, and that setup would be good enough. I'm doing a lot of projects. I'm doing under gravel filters and airline, or even flower pots in an aquarium, which could be something like this with like filter floss and some gravel, some nice gravel that I have. And I could actually add some soil on that. That wouldn't really bother me, and then another layer of gravel to keep the soil compact. But the plant has to be pretty much, well, the plant has to be matured enough. There has to be enough space in the aquarium. You know, I might have to just go all natural soil. I've seen a lot of people, you know, do natural soil throughout the aquarium and just, you know, plant it with plants and then just keep the light on all the time and stuff like that, and feed it fertilizer and things throughout the whole tank. But I don't have anything like that kind of, or pretty much set up. I could try that in a plastic bottle, but I don't want that big mess. But everything for me, actually, it's looking okay, I guess, because a lot of these plants are growing. I have to manage, or I have to keep watering them when I can, especially when the water tray is dry. I want to try to get some water for them. And you know, there's stuff with water trays in it, and the soil looks good. So I finished up this so far to where I'm at. The last main thing that I did was actually added some Gorilla Glue. It dries in 20 minutes. It's really good stuff. And you know, after this bottom rail, which is a trim, they call it a trimming. Once this dries up, it's gonna smoothen out all, you know, the bottom of this has so many scratches and stuff on the trimming that I had to seal it up and smoothen out the bottom. And then I just have to flip it over and scrape off the rest of this, and then I could actually fill this up with some good clean water, and then put this cover on, and put the cover on. I'm gonna actually have to tape it up at first, but eventually I'm going to make some type of bracket system actually for the larger back part of it. It's gonna be made out of clear plastic, but it needs to be at an L, you know, angle, like a 90-degree angle, and then just try to glue it to the top trim so that the lid won't fall. That's another project that I'm planning with these covers. I'm finishing up 2 of these. I drilled through the plastic where the holes are. This middle one isn't done yet, but these side ones, they're drying up glue, and once this part of this build is done, all I have to do is just smoothen up whatever edges. You know, I didn't sand off the edges. I wanted it kind of you know, roughed up, because I'm going to add some glue to finish smoothing out most of these covers. But here, you know, it's been 2 years working on these, and finally I got it finished up and things. This one's for the 20 tall. That's going to be towards the back of this, and it's going to have a nice cover that I could open and close. That's the main thing, just because when I open and close the cover, I could poke things around with a stick or actually siphon out any ammonia buildup or things like that that go on at the bottom of the aquarium. You know, there's also making under gravel filters that I'm trying to work on. Just having plastic containers and drilling some holes. I would you know, have maybe 4 large like soldered holes, and then, you know, just a bunch of small ones. I need to, you know, wonder if I could add anything like a nozzle where I could glue the nozzle, but for the most part, structurally, it seems like a good hollow space. You could pile up some rocks or even cover it up with gravel and things like that. But you could use airline, or you could use like a power head to connect to that. It just depends on what you have set up and basically the supplies. But under gravel filter will actually, you know, be nice for larger rock decorations. You put rocks on there, and even one of those planters, or you could just keep it bare bottom and, you know, cycle. The aquarium water is being cycled. It used to be murky and things like that, showing promise for a betta fish. This could be later on cleaned up and then turned into a betta breeding aquarium, kind of grow out. You know, if you had 2 decent, like a decent pair, I could, you know, breed them in here and put one safely inside of another aquarium and things like that. And there will be another 20 tall towards the back, so things could happen in there where I grow more plants and gravel and deal with a whole different filtering system, where I might need an under gravel filter like this that I want to try to make. So I'm going to be trying to plan. I'm going to plan those things. I might even have a larger type of lid, and basically, if I could even just hook up an air pump to this and blow bubbles, it will make pretty much a nice air bubbler type of system too. But for the most part, I just want to circulate any gases or ammonia and things. But those are all simple ideas and projects that I need to be working on, along with making a filter for these types of barrels. I do have some tubing. I want to make it like a canister type of filter, where it's going to draw water, and the outside of the filter is just going to trap a lot of the stuff and things like that, and then maybe have a foam type of outlet to filter that. So yeah, it's always good, because filtering raw water and stuff stuff, it's going to clear up your water in aquarium. Even though it's going to take a lot of power and electricity, it's the only way to really keep a clean aquarium rather than having it. So yeah, I'm just waiting for this to clog up and start filtering more, but I'm not 100% sure when that's going to happen. So I'll see you guys on the next episode of DIY. Thanks for watching.